Time for another sketchbook tour. Hello everyone, I'm Caroline. I'm a beginner artist at 56 and I'm learning to draw. This is my third sketchbook tour. Nothing fancy. I know some people decorate the front of their sketchbooks, but I never got round to decorating the front of this one. Still worth a look inside though. And we start off with just a few doodles that I drew, trying to copy a few things from different books. I don't think they were particularly brilliant, but it just got my first page of my sketchbook started off, so then I wasn't afraid of a blank page anymore or a blank sketchbook. And then we had a few more doodles. These are really weird. And eyes. I decided I want to have a go at drawing some different eyes. I used a reference for all these. I suppose really I should have done two eyes together, but I was just interested in seeing all the different types and the shadings. I love all the different ways of adding a highlight to the eyes. It's got a bit of a problem. When I drew on the other side, I didn't think, and I've ruined this side because I got all the marks from the other markers coming through onto this side. It was only a practice page, so I don't mind. And this I copied from a reference, and then I drew a flower. I quite enjoyed drawing these flowers, but was amazed at how long it took. But it was very relaxing and absorbing. This took me a whole evening to draw, but I was impressed that it really does look like a flower. So I decided to do a bigger one. That's huge. That took a long time as well. Not as long, funnily enough, as the smaller one, because I knew what I was doing. Still as relaxing though. I love drawing this sort of repetitive thing. When I'm stressed or if I'm tired, it's just so nice to settle down, don't worry about anything, just draw shapes. And then I drew a mushroom house. Now I'd looked at a few different houses and mushrooms and toadstools, and I came up with this. I used some of the old trees that I'd learned to draw from the 20 ways to draw a tree. I tried doing smoke coming out of the chimney. Not terribly successful, but I can see where I was going, and I was quite impressed at that stage with the shading that I put on the garden path. And as you can see, that's a dead page because the markers came through. I thought I'd try drawing Santa. Or is it a gnome? Or is it a Santa gnome or a gnomey Santa? Either way, well, they amuse me. Now this was my first what I would term genuine success. I really enjoyed drawing this and I really am proud of it because there are so many different ways that this means a lot to me. If you look here, there was some shading. Now I drew all this with no shading and then I got this very light felt pen and I was really nervous to do anything to it because it was such a lovely picture. And I thought, if I do that shading and it's not good, I've ruined the whole picture. But as it was, whew, it worked out well. And I drew that in 2020, but I didn't put a month. So that's not very informative, is it? If I had my time again, I wouldn't put so many plants outside this one. It looks like it's an underwater scene in the middle of the seaweed. But that one, I think, has just the right amount of plants outside for me. So I really love this one. There is, believe it or not, some doodling on there, but you can't see it because the marker has come through from the next painting or drawing, which is this one. I decided to try drawing a fairy castle with a moat and a drawbridge and lots of swirly-whirly trees. I've been watching a few of Shada Campbell's videos and she does a lot of things like this. I thought I'd give it a try. It's not a complete circle. I really should have used something to make that a really good solid circle. As it is, it's sort of a stigmatic eyeball shape. It's still very pretty though. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoy the swirly whirly little bits of ting, I suppose you would call them, coming out from either side of the picture. This was just a doodle I did. I quite enjoyed doing the toadstool houses, so I thought I'd have a look and see what I could come up with as a pencil sketch, having looked at lots and lots of different pictures and drawings. This is what I came up with, but I never actually did anything with it. Not quite sure why. I may go back and revisit that one day. Now this has to be up there in my top 3 of things I've ever drawn. I love this. Again, I was so proud of my shading. One colour pen, that's all. There was nothing technical in it. I just worked out where the light would be coming from and added shadow accordingly. And a little robin. I'm really pleased with this. I think that would make a really lovely Christmas card. And there's a log cabin, which I liked this effect here of the logs. I thought that was quite good. But I drew myself into a corner. I came down with these trees and then I couldn't figure out how I could do anything else because this was too close to the front to put a river or something. I didn't want to just put grass because that would be boring. I didn't want to put any more trees because they would be in the way of these trees. So I just didn't know what to do. So I gave up. More shader candle inspired flowers. I enjoy these as much as I enjoy just doing normal doodles. I love all the different shapes and flowers, and it's so exciting when you learn to draw another flower, because that way then your whole picture changes because you've added just 1 or 2 other elements that you don't normally put into your drawings. Here I was trying some new flowers out. I like these. I don't know if they work quite the way they're supposed to, but I enjoyed drawing them. They were great fun to draw. Lots of the usual things in. And I also drew this because I just played about, decided try to draw a tulipy sort of shape and then make it a little bit more edgy, which I think I did with the little blobs and things. Then I decided I was going to try to draw some raindrops. I didn't think I could do it, and I was surprised how relatively easy this was because I thought I would never learn to do it. But there are just simple rules, and if you follow the rules, then this is what happens. So I did them slightly different each time. I'm not sure which is my favourite one. I almost go for that one, but then I think, it's got a few sharp edges. Maybe I prefer this one, but I'm not keen on the shadow on this one. But either way, I was quite impressed that I'd managed to do those. Then I'd been looking up a few Zentangle videos now, just having a look and seeing if I could replicate some of the patterns on there. A sort of reference so that if I needed them, if I was trying to do a doodle, then I could come back to this and have a look. But nothing jumped out at me, and I really failed on the basket weave. More bits and pieces. And then some much more realistic drops, I felt. I really like these. This and this one I think are lovely. So I was dead chuffed with those. They're very messy everywhere else. You can see I spilt my coffee too. And I drew this, which was wonderful. It was some sort of flower. I can't even remember the name now, but I think it begins with E, but it's a flower, a tropical flower. And then look, I actually got some raindrops or water drops on the leaves. I was so pleased. And then I decided to draw on the other side with some markers. And as you can see, that's what happened. Is it an echinacea? Something like that. So I'd started to do these rainbow colours, working my way up the page, and it wasn't working for me. It was too splodgy, too thick. I think markers, I needed much finer markers to make that work the way I wanted to. So I gave up on it, and it's a shame because I ruined a perfectly good drawing on the other side of the page. These are great fun to do. It's surprising how easy they are too. I didn't think that it was the sort of thing that most people could draw, but they really are dead easy. You can look up on YouTube and there are lots of tutorials. I think they've even got a particular name. Very 3D look on them, isn't there? You can almost feel the ripples and undulations. And then I got this one, which is on the same theme as the long, tall, swirly one, but it's just in a radial like that, and much better because I could use my fine liners. I much prefer using fine liners for this sort of thing, and I'm surprised to say I much prefer black and white because I thought maybe the rainbow colour would tempt me back into colours, because I tried one with like pinks and purples and ooh, it really wasn't nice. But no, still black and white is winning there with a little addition of red. Ah, Protea, that's the name of the flower I wanted to say. For some reason I remembered it when I saw this, which doesn't look anything like a Protea. I gave it a go though. It was completely no references, tried it all. This was with my watercolour pencils, which I still haven't quite got the hang of using yet. I just get all these sharp edges, a little bit better there where I was trying to give the idea of grass wrapped round and round. It didn't work, but at least it's not as harsh as some of these edges here, so I need to work on my watercolour pencil work a lot more. Then I got some fine liners in different colours, so I decided, oh, I'll try drawing one of these with the flowers, but all pretty colours. I like it. I think it's quite attractive, but the colours don't blend well, I don't think. If I'd had more colours, I could have been a little bit more selective. I don't think these colours agree with each other. I think they've been a little bit of an argument going on there. I do like this colour blue for the fur though. And there you see some more marker has come through, and then I just tried drawing some little silly doodles to amuse me. I tried my glitter markers there to see what they looked like, and then I did a mummy and a baby bunny and a mummy and a baby bird. And you know me and my doodles. I'd been drawing a lot. I was tired, worn out, so I did myself another doodle. I think that one goes up that way. Yes, possibly. Or that way. You can never tell. I suppose you could even turn it that way. It doesn't make any difference. You can tell here I've been watching more Shada Campbell videos, so I was trying some flowers and leaves, things like that. She does these so well and it makes it look so easy. And then I decided I was going to try doing a cute little reindeer. He was okay. I sort of did okay, and then he got worse, and then he got a little bit better. So these are the not too bads. And then I lost my way a little on this one, as you can see. I don't know, he just doesn't look right. I'm not sure why he doesn't look right. He just really doesn't look right. I drew this little reindeer sat in the snow face on, but then I wasn't getting it right. And this reindeer, if you look closely, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legs. Is that impressive? You could even say he has 2 tails, couldn't you? And we have another doodle. What a surprise. I did some shading on this one too. Which way should we put that one? That way, do you think? No, I think that way. I quite enjoy doing the pencil shading on it too. It just gives it a little bit more interest without it just being black and white. And another doodle, which I didn't finish. And then an underwater scene. I don't know why I wanted to draw an underwater scene, but I did. I tried it. Now, is that an octopus or is that the waves? It was meant to be the waves, but I think it quite looks like octopus tentacles. But here's the octopus down here. I had a book that was just talking about plants by the seaside, so I thought, let's give it a go. Let's try drawing them and see if I can draw them just from a book with nobody saying this is how you do it or this is the step that you need to take first and second. I quite like this one with the fine marker. I'm not so keen on this one with the pencil. It's a little bit scruffy and tatty, but that one I really like, and that's sea holly. And then we got a heart. Now on this, I didn't realise just how many blank pages I had on the opposite sides on this sketchbook, so I can always go back and fill these in if I get the urge. This was just a romantic drawing. It was coming up to Valentine's Day, I think. I think that's why I had that in my mind. So I just did a pair of lovebirds and lots of hearts and doodle shapes, and I used my red glitter pen. See if I can show you the glittery shiny bits. That, for anybody who knows about my other channel where I go mudlarking with my husband, probably won't recognise us from that. It's supposed to be his hat, which he's famous for, and my wellies, which I'm famous for. But other than that, they don't look anything like us. They don't really look like wellies in a hat, do they? Now, I like this one. I put colour on this with my watercolour pencils, and then I added a little bit of glitter from my glitter pens. I thought it was nicely subtle, because the temptation when you're like me and you love glitter to cover things in glitter. But I was very restrained, and I just put it in dots in certain places, and I just think that's really pretty. And for me, when I'm not much into colour in my doodles, I was impressed. And then we've got this one. Ulrika Hirsch does a lot of this sort of thing with the lines and getting the 3D feeling from just doing curvy lines. I decided to do it. I'm not sure whether I like these or not, because they're interesting and they're three-dimensional. They got the lovely little hearts in, but there's something wiggly squiggly about them that I don't really like. Here's another doodle I did with my coloured pencils, my watercolour pencils. I tried doing different things, like just drawing stripes and then using the water to make the background pinky colour against the red, things like that. Tried blending, which I think I did a little better, but still not enough. I think there could be an issue with the paper I'm using. If I use too much water, then it goes all ruffly and can eat away at the paper surface. But then again, if I don't use enough, then I think this is why I'm not getting the proper blending. So that needs to be dealt with at some point. Now this is one of my favourites too. I love this. I did see this somewhere and I can't remember where it was. So if you know who that is that drew this or something similar to this anyway, then please feel free to leave their name or a link to their channel below in the comments, because if I've copied something, I'm quite happy to let people know that I copied off somebody, but I can't remember who this was. So it's got a few elements. I think it's a combination of a few different things, but definitely the idea came from somebody else, not me. Here's my little reindeer again. I popped him in on this background. I enjoy drawing these trees. These are real fun to draw. Very relaxing. So I do a lot of those, as you can see. Lots of dots, dots everywhere. And a reindeer with 3 legs at the front and 1 leg at the back. Interesting concept. Then I decided, I'm going to try doing some fonts. I'll start with capital letters. And I did 3 A's and thought, oh, this is so boring. So I turned over the page. Whoops. So I turned over and carried on with something else, which was, surprise, surprise, another doodle. This time my doodle has more of an idea of something organic rather than just random. You can see my toadstooly things and hearts and flowers. I really like this. I've just got a thing about drawing toadstools. I don't know why, and these are quite space-age toadstools. I also like the shading I put on this. It really makes it look more three-dimensional. Again, more of these loopy things. I just love drawing these all the way around here. It is such a relaxing thing to do. I could spend hours just doing that. And then I got on to this. Oh, you can see my love of toadstool drawing is growing all the time. I love drawing these. I just think, ooh, these look very tactile. These remind me of when I was younger. I can remember something Bleep and Booster, and they just reminded me of that. So it's quite space age, quite Star Wars-ish almost in the background, and a bit of everything really. I like it. And then I decided to do more of this wiggly things that Ulrika Hirsch does. And this just looks like some sort of weird maggot fest, doesn't it? Like if they're all having a party, the lights are flashing and reflecting on their skins. I like the colours. I like the idea, but it's just a little bit, ooh. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Does that make you cringe, or do you think that's beautiful? We've got another doodle, this time with some colour in. I did use my watercolour pencils for this, but then I decided I wasn't going to dilute them because I quite liked it the way it was, and I don't gain that much from diluting small areas like this. So I just left it as it was, but I'm trying to make myself, even though I love black and white and just basic colour doodles, just stretch myself a little bit, put some more colour in. You never know, one day I may actually get to prefer coloured doodles to black and white ones. It's not going to happen any day soon. Aye, aye, aye. It's a little bit of a fantasy scene here. I just put eyes everywhere. Not quite sure why. I suppose it could be a lunar landscape. No, it couldn't because there's green things growing on it. It can be what you want it to be. Right, let's have a look at turning over the page swiftly. I've got another doodle. I quite like the idea of Chinese lanterns, so I tried incorporating these into the doodle. I think they do look like Chinese lanterns, also a bit gourdish. So they could be gourds, except this one. I don't think you get a pencil-shaped gourd anyway. But I really like this. Again, black and white always gets my vote. Another sparkly one. I drew this, it's an underwater scene. Nothing in particular, just all from my mind. But it was a good excuse to use my sparkly pens again. Now on this one, I went for it. Come on, you can use colours, you can use vivid colours, and you can do this. So I drew this, put on some vivid colours with felt pen. You've got a few organic shapes. This one looks a bit like a bee with no wings. But it's cute. I like this when the white line comes up the middle to make it look as if it's the highlights of the light picking up on it. A little bit of jump in continuity there. My battery ran out. I looked up and noticed that my flowers here are dying. The azaleas, and I only put them in this jar yesterday, so they're not doing very well. Brush those bits out of the way and we'll carry on. So this is my coloured doodle. I am quite pleased with this. I still would prefer it if it was black and white though. And then we get to the end of the sketchbook. Or is it? So I tried to put together a few of the things I'd learnt. I used my watercolour pencils to try and incorporate those. I did some flowers as in Shader Campbell. I did a little bit of doodling here. Some Chinese lantern looking things, so a little bit of a mix, and I finished this sketchbook on the 31st of January 2020. I'm 3/4 of the way through my next sketchbook now, so that will be along in a few weeks' time. I think I have about 10 sheets or 20 sides of paper to do, and that'll be finished. I also have an ongoing sketchbook where I draw a person every day, and that one is going to be many months before that comes out. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, then why not subscribe? And you can follow through my art journey and just watch the progress of somebody who was quite proud of their stick man to who knows where this will all end. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget, have fun. Bye.